With the release of Commander Masters underway, and whilst there are some great reprints in that set, in this video I would like to look forward to all the recent announcements and take a look at what reprints we didn't get. Here is my top 10 most needed reprints we probably won't get. I should preface this by saying a lot of this is on my own personal list, so maybe I'm a little biased, but let me know in the comments if you think I've missed something. I would also like to point out this list of cards that are desperate need of a reprint, and not cards that despite having a recent reprint still command a high price tag. Looking at you, Great Henge. Anyway, let's start. Number 10. With the previews for Wildswell and Drain well underway, we have been shown a few cards that will be available through the bonus sheet in that set. Much the same as Artifacts did in the Brothers' War and Incident Sorcerers did in Strixhaven, there will be a bonus sheet of enchantments, and while it'd be easy to ask for a high priced enchantments such as Necropotence or Doubling Season, they have already been shown. So we know they are coming alongside Greater Auramancy and a new copy of Smothering Tithe, bringing down those much needed reprint prices. So my inclusion for number 10 is another powerful enchantment that needs a reprint, Anointed Procession. Whilst it is early days on the spoilers for Eldraine, and this may well be one of the available on the bonus sheet, hence why it's so low on this list. Previously only made as a singular reprint on the list, which didn't really do anything to help its availability and pricing, when it can only help that Doubling Season isn't the only token doubler that gets some love. Number 9. Whilst having a recent reprint in Commander Legends, that did nothing to help availability and price in any meaningful way to one of the best lands to run in 5-colour decks, Mana Confluence. Originally printed in Journey into Nyx, this Commander Love card doesn't need to be tied to Theros Plane and can be featured anywhere. It was originally included as a box topper in the Expeditions Zendikar, and it's still commanding quite a high price tag, more than what accessibility demands, and additional reprint would go far into allowing players to pick this up without hurting their wallets. Number 8. We are now travelling back to the world of powerful enchantments for my number 8. When first dropped into Standard, a lot of players agree that the card may be too powerful, but we can't unmake the card. The next best thing is to reprint it into the ground as much as possible, lower that really extravagant price, and make the copy even more accessible. The card I'm talking about is Meat Hut Massacre. A versatile card that can be utilised in a variety of ways, from a straight up board wipe to just paying 2 black mana early on and watch the value accrue over time. Reprint was made short after in the form of double feature, but as that set was a complete bomb and I think very little was opened, it seemed to do very little to affect the price and the availability of the card, and it still commands a very high price tag. Hopefully Innistrad Remastered, that's coming at the beginning of 2025, will rectify this if the actual Innistrad Remastered set is a paper release, which I believe it is. A great card to be sure, but one that could do with lowering in price so that when you buy one you don't feel like the only thing that has been massacred here is you. Number 7. In at number 7 there's a land that doesn't command the highest of price tags despite its only being printed in a single set, Core Set 2020. Field of the Dead is another card where the demand outweighs its supply. Able to go into a great many commander decks, it would be great to be able to pick up an additional 1 or 5 if I could ever find anyone who wants to part with one. The possibility of fitting into literally any set by card name alone means it can't completely rule it out of appearing again, but I find it difficult to believe it will appear in Standard, and the fact it's banned in Modern means that we won't be seeing it in Modern Horizons 3. So the only hope is for it to appear in a possible Universes Beyond or Secret Layer. It seems doubtful, but I think it would be cool to get an extended borderless treatment for the card, as I think that would look awesome with some great art on it. Number 6. For number 6, I decided to cheat a little and put several cards in a slot, the reason being as we've seen more and more of these rare and out of print cards being actually reprinted more recently. Only seems to be getting 1 or 2 a year, however, which is not going to allow people to pick up these gems very much. I am of course talking about Portal 3 Kingdoms cards. These are unbelievably expensive cards due to such a low print number and scarcity. However, I think that's okay for the most part, as a lot of the cards from a set are actually quite bad. And while I see the most people requesting a reprint of Riding the Dealu Horse, which seems like a bad card to me outside of trying to deal commander damage in a mono green deck, which, you know, there's probably better ways, I'm sure. So instead I'm listing a trio of creature cards that can find some actual use in some way. The creatures I'm picking are Dongzhao the Tyrant, Luzon Scholar General, and Guan Yu Sainted Warrior, although the last one may be on my radar due to name alone. That being said, you can't deny that the utility that Luzon and Dongzhao offer wouldn't see them added to commander decks either in the 99, or if you're brave enough as commanders themselves, which is a station befitting those characters indeed. Number 5. Number 5 is one that I did actually expect to see in Commander's Masters, if not for the fact that one half of the combo was recently reprinted in the Hobbit, Food and Fellowship, Lord of the Rings Commander Precon. The card I'm referring to is Exquisite Blood, one half of an infamous Infinite combo piece. Despite its sister combo component Sanguine Bond being printed a total of 8 times and featuring in several Commander Precons over the year, Exquisite Blood has only ever had a secret layer offering and a reprint in Jumpstart, being extremely scarce in that Jumpstart set. Allowing Commander players to pick this card up quickly to add to their Food and Fellowship deck seemed like a no-brainer to me, but hey, what do I know? Not how to deny acknowledgement of a secondary market like Wizards do. Number 4. At number 4 we have a card that I thought was a shoe-in for a reprint in Commander Masters based on the first few cards previewed. I am of course referring to Edgar Markov. As the Ur Dragon was previewed for Commander Masters, I was flabbergasted that Edgar wasn't among the cards revealed upon the full reveal of the set, and I don't think I was alone in this either. Whilst Wizards was in full acknowledgement of that Eminence was extremely powerful, they went ahead and reprinted the ability in Sijar Jabari for the Cavalry Charge Precon, and whilst that is nowhere near as powerful as Edgar is often regarded as, I think the Ur Dragon is. This is clearly done with the intent to spread the reprint equity about so Edgar can appear elsewhere. But outside of the secret layer, the upcoming sets don't seem to offer a slot that Edgar would fit into, and it'd be nice to own an actual copy of the card that I have for a Commander deck or built around that particular card before I die. Number 3. The next card on our list was previously banned in the Commander format for 10 years. Following its recent unban several years ago, we've seen no effort to reprint the card to allow people to actually play with it now it's unbanned. Painter's Servant is a card that allowed for some crazy fun interactions in Commander. While originally played with Grindstone to make an infinite combo, neither of those cards are the powerhouse as they once were. They are still powerful of course, but in the game of Commander there are 3 other people who can counter and interact with both pieces before they're used, especially when Painter's Servant doesn't have haste. For this reason, a reprint is desperately needed to lower its artificially high price tag and reintroduce it back into the fold of playable cards at payable prices. Number 2. My number 2 slot is a card that is not currently demanding the highest price tag, but then again, it's so difficult to meet its demand. Quark Clan Ironworks was originally printed at Uncommon in 5th Dawn 20 years ago. I have no doubt that a modern day reprint would be upshifted to rare, but I'd be okay with that if it making the card more accessible. Again, just like Field of the Dead, it could look amazing with an extended borderless version. Unfortunately, being banned on Modern and not legal anywhere outside of Commander, Vintage and Legacy, we really need to see a reprint of that in Commander Masters. As it stands, I don't hold high hopes for seeing a reprint anytime soon, especially as the card name is irrevocably tied to an older lore character, but it is one that is still desperately needed regardless. Number 1. And what card holds the top slot for the most needed reprint? It's a card that has only a single list reprint aside from a Pro Tour promo, and that has Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. Powerful land that can go into every mono and 2 colour commander deck, maybe even 3 colour decks if you try it. It's a highly desirable card that would cost a small fortune to be able to kit out multiple commander decks with. It's a real powerhouse in the right decks, but availability and price could be a lot better. The only issue is it's tied specifically to Theros as a plane, so outside of like a Hail Mary and Modern Horizons 3, it's going to be quite a few years before we get another printing of it, if we ever do return to Theros at some point. So that is my top 10 reprints. What are yours? Please leave a comment telling me which are your top 10 and which did I miss. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe for more Magic content to follow. Thanks.